All right, you know what it is, Unique Mecca Audio, man. This one here, hold up, cause we gotta do it right. We gotta do it right. We got to do it right. All right. Now, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. See, I just wanted you to see me behind the scenes on how we gonna do this. Right now, Adam22 is gonna basically let Bricc Baby know I ain't got nothing for you. You owe me money for you went in. You kept borrowing money. Now you locked up. Now you calling me and want me to give you my money while I'm out here and you done screwed up. So we gonna play the tape, but of course, Adam gonna say it in Adam terms. You know what I mean? Y'all know what it mean, put it in the comments. But that's where we at. Let's start the intro and then we gonna go. But remember to subscribe to my daughter Juanita Mecca Audio YouTube channel. She talk about what it was like being on the street for 26 years without a father because he was locked up serving life plus 20 for being a drug kingpin. Let's keep it moving. All right. All right, you know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. We in the house. This what it is. Somebody was supposed to remind me to put it on YouTube, but they didn't, but it's all love. Now, we're going to play Adam, and this is Adam responding because Bricc Baby done went and told Sharp, who's Adam's nemesis from before, because they had a sweet thing going, pause, no pun intended, and that didn't work out. You know what I mean? And dude didn't get paid, Mr. Sharp. So him and Adam part ways, and now Bricc Baby run to Mr. Sharp and tell him that Adam ain't been looking out while he been in jail, and Adam ain't accepted his calls, and he on vacation. And this is Adam's response to Bricc Baby going to tell Mr. Sharp his arch nemesis, meaning his number one enemy. So you understand. All right, let's get this thing moving now, right? Y'all ready for this or what?
All right. We're back, the Adam22 channel. It's been long dormant, ignored, turned my back on it, to be totally honest. But solo content, I'm going to be real. I haven't done it in a long time, but I feel like I got something to say. I don't always want to wait for the podcast. I don't always want Lush breathing down my neck, getting in the way of my topics. Shout out to Lush. But today, you already know what I'm going to talk about. Bricc Baby, I'm coming for you. So let me explain. I was in Turks and Caicos for approximately 1 week, and it came down the pipe while I was out there, pause, that Bricc Baby had some choice words for the 22 stir, and today we're going to be reacting to those words. So let's get right into it.
Hey, it's that big old deal, man. It's just Bricc, man. While everybody laid up with their feet up out there, vacation and playing like they ain't got nothing for the kids, man. You already know we still keeping it strong, nigga. Don't need nothing for. Hey, sometimes it be a mental test to see where a nigga hard at in his chest, man. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker use you, abuse you, as soon as you get out the way and act like they ain't worried about losing you. You know what I mean?
Okay. So if you didn't catch it, this is a thinly veiled shot at the 22 stir.
Basically, what he said is, man, you locked up the people you looked out for. They ain't there. They forget about you and all that. And now this is him going. He calling that a shot. He just telling it like it is from where he at. Let's keep it moving.
I was on vacation. I did have my feet kicked up, but let's talk about Bricc Baby, and in particular, the financial side of my relationship with the brick, not the trick. When Bricc Baby came on the platform 2 years ago, pretty quickly, the feds ran up in his crib and raided him. He needed money to get out. Now, it's been discussed at length that I fronted him an amount of money, $5,000, so that he could get out the same day that he was picked up. I know Whack 100 and a few other people have been spreading information saying that this was cap. I don't know. Honestly, the other day in the Reddit, somebody posted information saying that he really did have a bail and that was where the $5,000 went. I never really heard about it. I heard rumors in the streets that maybe this money was not required for him to be bailed out, that he didn't have a bail. But I did see these screenshots in the Reddit that make it seem as if he did have a bail. I didn't make a big deal out of it. I gave him the money, had to get him back out on the streets. I knew that he had potential. I knew that I could take him from being a marginal figure in the LA podcasting space to being one of, if not the most talked about person in the podcasting space, which is exactly what has happened over the course of the past couple of years.
All right, let me translate it for you so you could understand this, right? Basically, what he's saying is that Bricc Baby was locked up. While Bricc Baby locked up, said he needed money for bail. He gave him the $5 grand for bail. He didn't really believe it. So obviously he jumped out there, said Bricc Baby was lying. He borrowed $5 grand. He lied and said it was for bail when he never got no bail, because don't forget you had Whack 100 that was going up there on no jumper saying that ain't nothing happened, and he got out the next day. So Adam is under the impression from Whack 100 is telling him, and the rest of the social media is telling him, is that Bricc Baby ain't got no case. He faking, he working with the feds. That's where it's at. Now, to Bricc Baby's, defense, right? Because we don't know if he's ratting yet, but to his defense, Adam, to those of y'all watching, when you get locked up and you got a $50,000 bail, you pay 10%. 10% of $50,000 is $5,000. That was the $5,000 that he may have asked you for. So you understand, because you beating around it like you still trying to stick on that Bricc Baby lied and didn't have a bail, and he tried to play games with you. But nah, he ain't trying to play no games with you. He had a little punk ass bail for a little 50 grand. He needed $5 grand. He called a dude that he, getting ready to do business with, getting money with, and said, yo, let me get this $5 grand. They got me on the joint. They ran up in my crib, called a couple of AKs. You just take care of that. You don't run on podcasts and talk about that. That's something that should have never even been brought to the public, but it's brought to the public. Now, so that's what Adam is saying, that he need to stop it, that they're not going with it, that, he full of crap. In a minute, Adam going to be calling him hot, because you see where this beef is going. Everybody, that's the first thing you do, is you assassinate somebody's ultimate character by calling them hot. So you figure that out. But let's get back to Adam. Y'all understand what's going on here? Adam is basically telling it that, yo, Bricc, chill. Pause. All right.
Never asked him for the money back. Never asked for it. You feel me? Now, to his credit, for like 2 years after that, he did not ask me for any additional funds. So from my perspective, I was just like, okay, whatever. This is part of doing business. I gave him the $5K. I'm not going to bring it up again. And over the course of those 2 years, my prediction did come true. Bricc Baby basically soared to new heights, became one of the most talked about people in the community. And as far as our relationship, I would like to think that we actually became something like friends.
Now it's something like friends. Didn't before he was yelling that they was friends? Now it's something like friends? Could this be a warm-up for getting on the stand? Oh no, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. We was just something like friends. What, either you were friends or you wasn't friends, the defense is gonna ask. Let's be careful what we do, and it's not hard to see the way this is playing out. All right.
Closer and closer, spent time hanging out various times, went out to a lot of different parties and stuff, basically formed a relationship that honestly was a little bit more developed than the type of relationship that I've formed with most of the hosts that No Jumper has had over the years. Fast forward to a couple months ago, Bricc Baby reaches out to me again, asks if he can borrow a couple $1,000s for, I don't know, he's like moving into a new spot or some shit like that. I said, okay. Didn't even bring up the fact that I had let him borrow this $5,000. I figured after 2 years, shit, whatever. So I let him borrow this additional $2,000-$3,000. I forget what it was. And then very soon after that, like I'm talking like a week later, he gets picked up by the feds, right? Ever since then, there's been murmurings, people wondering, what is Adam22 going to do to help out Bricc in this situation? Now,
yeah, didn't he say that he was his friend? That's the whole point. I wasn't even listening because it was playing in my ear, but come on, Adam, what are you going to do to help out your sort of like a friend? Let's hear this one.
From my perspective, I'm $7,000-$8,000 in the hole.
You see how he just edited that? Look how he just edited that. Okay, he said something. They told him, nah, you can't say that. Check it out.
Picked up by the feds, right? Ever since then, there's been murmurings, people wondering, what is Adam22 going to do to help out Bricc in this situation? Now, from my perspective, I'm $7,000-$8,000 in the hole in terms of money that I have let you borrow. Which,
So in other words, you ain't getting another white, black, red, green, whatever dime. You're not getting nothing, Bricc. That's what he's basically told you. You're already $8,000 in on me. You're locked up. You know what I mean? I couldn't give a crap that you locked up. You know what I mean? I wish you was out here, but you blessed us with enough content when you first went in. Round of applause to you and Luz Cannon for the content. I made a couple of dollars too. Round of applause. Got to get him a round of applause. Round of applause. All right, relax, y'all. Relax. But I just want y'all to understand what Adam is telling them, that, yo, dog, I done gave you $5,000 to so-called get your bail. I done gave you a couple of grand after that, right before you got locked up. And then now all of a sudden you turn around and you get locked up and you expect me to do for you when you didn't even pay me back, and you haven't even spoke about the money that I gave you 3 years ago, which was that $5,000. You just ignored it and kept coming on the show and connected the paycheck. You never said, here's $1,000 towards that $5,000. He could have took that and gave it to one of his squallies or something. Meaning little chicken, or what they call it nowadays. Well, his little thought. He could have gave a little thought something, But that's where we at. So Adam is letting it be known politely, but I'm just giving it to you raw so you know how we interpret this on the street.
Which I'm not really the kind of person who lets people borrow money all the time. Like, of everybody who's ever worked for me, I honestly don't think I can think of a situation in which any of them have borrowed money from me. Like, that's just not really the kind of relationship that I like to have with people who work for me.
All right. So basically what he's saying is that everybody that work for him is a grown-ass man. They know how to handle their responsibilities and their finances and their accounting to keep their money together, and they don't have to get on their knuckles and come beg me for money in between paycheck to paycheck. That's all he's saying. You know what I mean? No one else that worked for me ever came to ask me that. No one else has stooped that low, to disrespect themselves, to come say, hey, I'm a little behind. No, you go do that to a friend. I'm a boss. I write the check. I don't care about what you do with the check afterwards, because if you make money from the check, if you go to the casino and win $1 million, you're not going to give me a dime. You're going to tell me I paid you for your services and you won the money with the money that you paid for your services. So therefore, don't come and ask me for a dime. Because the money that I make from you performing your services is my money. That's basically what Adam is saying. Y'all understand that? All right, let's keep it moving.
If it is an emergency, okay, we could do something. But for the most part, it's just not really how I get down. It's like, I don't like to have that kind of thing going on. I pay you for your service.
There you go.
And you do the job and we're good. But as far as taking out loans consistently, constantly, I'm not really into it.
See, right there, that's the same thing. See, I just broke it down in trigger terms. You know what I mean? Because those triggers not understand what's going on with this, right? In other words, dog, you kept borrowing money from me. This is not really me. No one even asks me for money. Everybody I'm around is know how to handle their business, to keep their finances in order. And I'm not really with that. And come on, keep that away from me. See, I like the way Adam tried to polish it up.
That being said, it was only 2 times throughout our relationship so far. But I say all that to just set the stage. Then he gets locked up, and people are pretty much automatically, suggesting in the comments, people talking about it on podcasts, is Adam going to pay for his lawyer? Is Adam putting money on his books? Whatever. And I'm going to be real with you. For like the first month that he was locked up, he didn't ask me for shit. He didn't say anything about it, which I kind of appreciated because he
didn't ask you for shit, right? I'm going to tell you while I change the scene, right? He didn't ask you for shit, Adam, because he didn't know that shit was real. Bricc Baby and Luz Cannon still thought it was a game, calling Sharice and all of this from the phone and making content, and Sharice adding what's his name, Luz, to her YouTube channel to blow up her YouTube channel. But let's hope she don't go down with the sinking ship from them phone calls she's putting on a joint, because they might come back and say, if they chose to, that that's obstruction of justice or impeding an investigation. Because Luz is speaking about the case on the phone and she's putting it out to the media. These people could play how they want to play, and they play very dirty. Let's keep it moving.
I feel like if I just gave you $2,000 like immediately before you got locked up, it is kind of weird for you to get locked up and then be like, hey, like, can I have even more money, especially given this prior debt? Because my thing is, like, if you want to get an official verdict on how I'm willing to help you out financially, in addition to what I've done for you previously, I feel like you should be upfront about that. I've talked to Bricc on the phone a whole bunch of times since he's been locked up, including like the day before this video came out.
Listen,
and
to
it
this.
was none of this energy at all. And in addition to that, we've got people like Sharp, who
Okay. Now we got to show you who Sharp is. I don't learn who Sharp is. Sharp is a pimp, ex-pimp, that was working with No Jumper. He wound up getting the millions of views on his joint, so he was a shrewd businessman. So Sharp went to No Jumper and said, look, whatever videos we do, because we getting 4-5 million videos, you know what I mean? And getting like 10,000 a million. That's like $50,000 we getting. I want half of whatever content I get on your show. And Adam agreed to that. Then Sharp went out and he made a diss record where he went to Adam's house, spray painting and throwing water on the dog, calling him all types of shit, and had an old funny dude doing an Adam hump on the floor and whole disrespected him. So Adam said, you know what, now I'm not paying you nothing. So obviously Sharp must not have been the shrewdest businessman that he thought he was, because he didn't have it in writing. So Adam jetted and deaded him, and now there's mixed feelings, and Bricc Baby is calling Sharp to tell Sharp, yo, this dude ain't even answer my calls and he away on vacation. And that's what he's mad at. I just wanted you to know who Sharp is, but I'm also going to show you a little video so you can see Sharp. You know, this was him talking about he owned half the company.
You're an employee. I need my 100,000 by the night. You're an employee. 100,000 by the night. You think I'm playing with you? You're an employee. I appreciate the free money, brother. Where's the receipt? I appreciate that. I got it right here in my face. Post. AD freeways. We ain't even got to have no number. We'll get on FaceTime and I'll show you all the documents. Post it. Right to your face.
I ain't even gonna lie. Yo, Big Act. I ain't even gonna lie. I actually know for a fact Sharp's not lying about that.
So he's unemployed.
I need my money. I don't want to hear anything else from your fat. Put my bread counting out to me.
Send the proof that you know if you get a paycheck from No Jump, you're an employee.
The truth of the matter is Sharp did not have ownership of anything that had to do with No Jumper. He had ownership of content he was involved in, and he only owned a certain percentage of it, which is why he would get ad revenue for quote unquote the rest of his life from those specific videos, not from all the content on No Jumper. So Academics was right. Sharp was an employee, but clearly Sharp did not feel that way. I mean, if anything, at best, he was a partner, kind of like you see at a law firm when they let an attorney partner with them. That attorney isn't now an owner of this law firm, but they are a partner of the law firm, and they make a little bit more. They get a little bit more freedom, but definitely not an owner. But that clip shows where Sharp's mindset was at the time. He felt like he was. However,
all right, so now we're going to go back to Mr. Adam. Let's not forget Adam. So I just want y'all to know who Sharp was, so get y'all caught up on this. You know what I mean? All right.
Who don't got a pot to piss in, who ain't done nothing for Bricc, who can't do anything for anybody because he's dead broke. He's coming out, making YouTube videos, doing streams where he's passing judgment on what I've done for Bricc. Keep in mind, I've had Bricc on salary for 2 years straight, even when he was missing shows, even when he was out of town doing whatever, never fronted on him in terms of the money. Now we've got Sharp, who, you know, Sharp has never done anything besides sex traffic women and be ugly. And he's out here trying to cast judgment on me. So let's play the Sharp clip.
Pretty much, if he is to get out or, you know what I'm saying, even hits the streets, they don't want him on that podcast at all. They want him to resign from it, like be done with it. They don't. The feds do not want him on No Jumper no longer. I'm telling you facts. This isn't what I think. No, it's what I know.
So if this is true, this is the first and only source that I've heard from that has specified this in any way. Do I have concerns about?
Yeah, hold up, stop. Let's stop the crap. Let's stop the crap, Adam. What's gonna happen is, and the way it's going to play out with this is, don't act like what Sharp just said has no merit. It has merit because they're saying that this case, and they're using quotes from your podcast that he was on, that they feel not only did he commit crimes, but he also ordered crimes by saying things that we call innuendo. That's the way it's going to play out. So they're going to say that he used your platform to push this rolling 60s alleged negative actions to the rolling 60s within earshot through you. So now you do have to worry. You know, you do have to worry about if they're going to let him get back on, because he's going to lose money if they don't. But 9 times out of 10, if he's smart enough, he'll know not to bring his ass up there and stay off of YouTube till this is over. But if not, and he come out, the judge is going to order him not to get on social media because they know social media is the weapon. Social media has become a weapon. Do you understand that? A weapon. And now, Adam, you have this weapon called a YouTube channel. Whatever you put out there, the people seeing it because you don't know their mind frame, their mindset, or what they're going to do or how they're going to react. So if somebody come on your show and say, slaughter everybody that wear blue in your neighborhood, and then someone actually go out there and kill even one person in your neighborhood, you know, they're going to say that happened because he gave that order out on you. Oh, you wouldn't be charged for that because that's random. But all of these continuous acts, and at some point, you should have known to look into legal representation if it's cool for these young men to be talking about these crimes in the manner that they're talking about them in. Is y'all listening to me? Let's get a gunshot. Let's warm up. Matter of fact, let's get an intro too. And you know what? Let's get a toast to crime.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
All right, so now we're back. Just want to give you a little intermission, a couple of gunshots, and you already know it's just relax. Round of applause. See how I work this? And you know what? I didn't even. Can y'all hold on for a minute? I didn't even take a ride yet. It's coming. Let's keep it moving.
Bricc Baby returning to the platform. Yes, obviously that would be
great for the pockets.
Interesting, and I would wonder about the level of heat that it would draw to the building. Obviously, things like the gun that they saw in his waistline that I didn't see and that I don't think the comments saw, but that was pointed out in his bail hearing that
you didn't see it and you edited that.
He had a strap on him. That kind of thing is the kind of thing that I would want to really be on point with. But the idea that the feds or the cops have told Bricc that he's no longer allowed to be on No Jumper, this is a sharp narrative as of this point. Like, I have
ain't no sharp narrative. That's the facts. They're going to tell him that he ain't allowed to get on social media, and most definitely they may even tell him to stay away from you, maybe a way of not insinuating, but just showing you how this could work, could be you putting a solid restraining order on him. Yo, Judge, I fear for my life. This dude might come out and try and kill me, man, because I ain't look out for me in jail. And I done got him to say all that stuff on my podcast. Man, please don't have that man come near you. So then the judge would just politely say, oh, and you're ordered to stay away from Adam22 and anything that has to do with his business and so on and so on. But we're going to see how this play out. You know, I've watched it a million different ways, talked to a million different people over my 26 years in federal prison, so that's why I'm qualified to know. But Adam, plead the fifth, I see. Okay, now let's keep it moving.
absolutely no idea if this is a real thing or not. But it does seem kind of odd if this is something that Bricc told Sharp and didn't tell me or anybody else from No Jumper. I mean, keep in mind, Bricc and Sharp have had a weird relationship over the years, because when we fell out with Sharp, Bricc talked hella shit about him on the platform and then basically continued to be friends with him to some extent, which I always thought was a little strange. But either way, I mean, to me, this is just a completely invented Sharp narrative as far as I know. It's kind of odd that he would know about this and I wouldn't know about this. But let's keep going.
You know, to a lot of you dummies, because it went to prove, because everybody was screaming, oh, they're going to be out on Wednesday. No, they're not. I knew it when it came to the bail hearing and how things play like that. They're just giving them that. Now you got to appeal it. And then, you know, to hear, you know, when he was calling, you know, Adam, he ain't answering, or whatever the case may be. He's calling people and they not picking up. Now they're avoiding him. Why is that? Boy, why aren't you answering Bricc calls?
Another Cap Sharp narrative. I have not.
Now, you see that was his nemesis. That's who I just told you about. We show you a little spill on that. Now let's see what he got to say about him.
I've been ducking any phone calls, and keep in mind that his baby mama has been in communication with me, talking to me, telling me what time Bricc was gonna call and everything. But every time that I got on the phone with Bricc, it's been like 2 or 3 minutes of conversation, and then he gets kicked off because I guess he's only allowed to be on the phone for 10 minutes at a time. Never at any point until I was in Turks and Caicos, like right before that other video clip came out, did Bricc even utter something that mentioned or inferred that he thought that he should be getting in any way some money from us. So to me, I'm gonna be real with you, I just feel like this is some hoe ass shit. No offense, Bricc, I don't really want to use the hoe word when it comes to you or anything, but how are you gonna be out here communicating shit like this to Sharp and not having the nuts to say it to me? And then
Damn, tell you, didn't he just say Bricc Baby ain't got no nuts? If you ain't got no nuts, then what are you? What does he call him, Bricc Baby? Somebody put in the comments. What does he call him, Bricc Baby? Somebody put in the goddamn. Somebody put in the comments, man. Somebody put in the comments. Let me know what he called him, Bricc Baby. He even had the smile on his face. Going at him.
in addition to that, I mean, let's be real about the relationship between an employer and a worker.
If damn, now Bricc Baby just an employer and a worker? Didn't he say free Bricc Baby, my man, that's my soldier? Don't it sound like he's pushing away because he already know the boy? I know his lawyer told him they're coming at him. Adam, I know for a fact your lawyer told him, get your bag ready. Get your bag right. Because they're coming and I'm holding out my wheelbarrow.
If Bricc had asked me in the beginning, Adam, if I get locked up, will you bail me out? Will you pay for my lawyer, etc.?
Now, you don't ask nobody no crap like that unless you're going to do a crime for him. Or maybe, because now we riding. Or maybe now what he's saying is, Bricc might have said, yo, I can't say certain things that I want to say up here because, you know, there's certain active things they don't know about. You know, it's a little gang banging thing and all that. But, you know, if you want me to say it and I say it, you going to bail me out? You know what I mean? If they come get me. And Bricc said it like a joke, but it was coming from a serious place. Like if I tell you about this, bop, 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 and they come grab me, you going to bail me out? Meaning he know he going to say no. You understand? Could have went that way. I'm just giving you a thought.
My response early on probably would have been like, no. Like I would prefer to not take our relationship to that extent. Like that's just not something I really go into business with someone.
So you know, he keep talking about business, not friendship no more. The Bricc Baby's my brother, my twin, my other half. That's out the window. This is gonna get ugly because Bricc Baby gonna respond. Oh my God, it's been
being prepared to do. It does leave a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth to realize that Bricc is comfortable having conversations about me to Sharp, but won't have that same conversation to me. Like if you
see, basically he's saying he can't believe that, you know, he's feeling that Bricc Baby is talking to this dude about his business because he ain't got the balls to say it to him. So he talking behind his back like a broad. That's basically what Adam is saying. Like, yo, dude, you talking behind my back like a broad until a dude, until my ex. Sharp is my ex-worker. You know we don't have no love. I'm going to go back and look at some of the videos with Sharp because I like the way Sharp talk. You know what I mean? Y'all go check that out too. Maybe when Sharp get his thing right, he get paid from the videos like he was supposed to get for whatever the content is. So we're going to support Sharp. All right?
You want to borrow money, you can ask me. I was actually kind of looking forward to him asking me so I could have a conversation with him about the fact that he's already in a pretty significant amount of debt to me, but that conversation never came. And then in addition to that,
in other words, he's saying you should have talked to him about the money you owed me before you even asked me about anything. Yo, man, in jail, he gonna say, yo, remember that money I owed you? Yeah, he should have. You know, yo, remember that money I owed you, man? Put that shit aside, man. What's that, 8? I need this extra 5 so I can get out this situation. I need this extra 10 so I can get out this situation. Put it on there. I promise to make that right. Then it's up to Adam to say, nah, I think you full of shit. You know, or it's up to Adam to say, all right, I'm going to hold you to that. But this time we're going to get it in writing. Or this time, give me some jewelry. Tell your girl to bring me some jewelry for collateral. Tell your girl to bring me your favorite handgun for collateral. You know, one day, you know, you just can't walk. You know, that lucky gun, you know, give me that for collateral. It's a lot of things he could have done. All right.
I heard it through the grapevine that Bricc basically thought that he was going to keep getting paid, that even though he's locked up and he's not able to contribute to the business by being on camera, that he thought that he was just so locked in that he was going to keep getting his monthly pay each month. I'm sorry. I know you guys all saw the No Jumper is Going Broke video. We are not in the best financial state right now.
In other words, right now, he's doing the same thing because we riding. He's doing the same thing like 50 Cent did when his baby mama, I think it was, that sued him and he filed for bankruptcy. You know, so he ain't got to give a dime. That's the same thing Adam is warming up for. Man, I'm dead broke, man. I ain't got nothing to give Bricc. I can barely afford to take care of my wife and kids. Yeah, but I just came back from Cabo. But, you know, that was nothing. That was already prepaid for before I got broke or, you know, before you got locked up. You know, this whole thing is just so comical and content-ridden.
Paying someone to be in federal prison doesn't really seem realistic.
Yeah, paying someone to be in federal.
Y'all been making content about them for the last 2 weeks. Why is it that he ain't received a paycheck?
Good question. He's saying he's saying that he was down with you before he went in. He's still calling in, giving you content. Or you breaking him off from those hundreds of thousands of views that you've been getting. That's what he's basically saying, which is a good point.
He's making money off of what he's been doing, and I'm hearing that, you know, from reliable sources, his people, you know, that reached out about it, and you know, they're not getting no feedback on it, no response. I mean, they did have a life before he went to jail, homie. Like, that's what happens at jobs. Like, he don't get his money, and missing out on some bands because he ain't there. Come on, brother, that ain't cool. You supposed to make sure that he got it. His baby mama or nobody like ain't received nothing. Like, just even the money that he's owed legitimately for what, you know, the work that he's done. Because I know he got a salary. Why ain't that man received his bread? Like, what's going on?
Sharp is basically alleging that
what he's not alleging nothing. He's saying straight up, Bricc Baby still making you money on No Jumper and Adam22 and whatever up or down or whatever channel you got going on. Bricc Baby still making you money, and he's saying that Bricc Baby should be broken off. I don't see what's too far-fetched from that. You already signed a deal with the same man that's speaking to give him 50% of whatever proceeds come in from the videos he do with you. So he's speaking from that standpoint, and from that standpoint, him speaking like that makes 100% sense, saying, yo, get Bricc Baby that bag while he in there. He shouldn't have to call you and tell you he need for commissary. Just give him what you owe him, allegedly, is what they're saying. Just translating it, all we doing.
That No Jumper has not paid Bricc the money that we owe him. Well, he obviously has absolutely no knowledge of this, because I would gladly open up our books and let everybody see the fact that we paid Bricc for exactly the amount of time that he was on the podcast. So this is ridiculous. This is just totally fake. Sharp, again, basically a bum at this point. He's on the verge of homelessness. He's going to go back to Vegas and continue his sex trafficking career at the truck stops in Vegas. And apparently he's just trying to get one little tiny moment of clout by calling me out. His YouTube channel is in the fucking dirt. And so he's out here spreading misinformation about me. Sharp, use a hoe. Use a hoe commenting on real business, because you've never ran a business. You're doing live streams for 200 people for 6 hours every night. I know this video is not about Sharp, but it's just so hard for me to hold my tongue when it comes to describing what a hoe-ass bitch Sharp is. Okay, let's just go back to Bricc Baby. I guess I just wanted to make this video to clarify that I'm not on any weird shit. I'm not on any disloyal shit. My perspective is just, no, I'm not going to keep you on the payroll while you're locked up. That's just not, that's an abuse of the relationship that you think that we have. It's like, there's probably a lot of people in your life that could help you out with money. And I have nothing against giving the guy some money for commissary, helping his girl out with whatever. But it's just at a certain point, you've already worked up a significant debt with me. It takes.
Damn, hold on. Isn't Adam speaking a whole different tune than when Bricc was out here? He didn't feel this way when Bricc was out here, did he? I mean, somebody put it in the comments. Did Adam feel this way when Bricc was out here? And also put it in the comments. Please put it in the comments. Did he feel this way a week ago when Bricc Baby and Loose Cannon was calling in like they had free run of the phone? Did he feel that way then? Somebody explain that to me.
Takes a lot of nerve to make YouTube videos basically throwing shade at me when realistically I'm probably the person who showed you the most love in recent memory. Now, that being said, Bricc, he's locked up. He's detoxing off perks, I'm assuming. So he's probably not in the best mental state. I'm not turning my back on him by any means.
You just told the public and the world that he's probably detoxing and getting off perks. And now you're going to fix your mouth to say an oxymoron that, oh, but he's my friend.
I'm just calling out some behavior that I personally don't really agree with and don't care for. So,
and why do you feel you need to air it out to the public, Mr. Adam22?
We actually do have plans. We've got some free Bricc Baby shirts that we're going to be dropping in the very near future. The proceeds from that are going to him.
Now, this is where I feel sorry for you, Gita Violin. That, don't you and your girl a crumb. You know what I mean? So I could say that I did something. Yo, Adam is a funny dude. I gotta get a laugh. I gotta get a laugh. I gotta get a laugh joint in here, man. Because Adam is a funny. Adam, you're gonna be the inspiration for the laugh keypad.
Him and his family. And in addition to that, we do have a live stream coming up in the very near future, probably by the end of this week. And in that live stream, we are going to be taking all of the donations. Friday is looking like it might be the day. Friday, we might be doing this. All the donations are going to be going to Bricc Baby.
All right, and what are you going to do? Are you going to match that? Let's see if he's going to match that.
To help him out. That being said, I don't really appreciate some of this weird backstabby type of stuff. You know, honestly, it's just, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I feel like you should have more respect for the relationship that we've had over the years and the fact that I've kept you on your feet over the years. But I'm not turning my back on you.
In other words, you was a cold bum. I kept you alive, kept a coat on your back, kept flip-flops on your feet when you wanted to go out there and wear a flip-flop wearing in public troll. I gave you opportunities to do anything you wanted, Bricc. And now this is the way you treat me, but I'm not going to turn my back on you. I'm going to get other people to put up their money because you're not worth another dime out of my pocket because you're already in the hole with me. $8,000. I like this dude. I really do.
You by any means, we are going to be helping Bricc Baby out. And so show up to that live stream Friday. Hopefully we can make it happen Friday. But yeah, Adam22, free Bricc.
Yeah. Is this dude, round of applause to this dude. Round of applause to this dude. He just gave great content. I mess with this dude here. Calm down, y'all. Relax. Y'all, I mess with this dude, right? But let's get to some of these comments. But y'all understand what's going on. Bricc Baby done called his nemesis. All types of crap came out. So that's where the problem was at. All right. So where was that for the top? All right. So A1. Okay. A1 and 22 names, meaning what's the love channel? Champ, what up? All right. Adam is moving. Let's get this thing moving. Josh. What did Josh show like this on something, whatever. I'm just putting some comments up there. You already know what it is. All right. But now, I see everything went well. Glad you all enjoyed the show. I just wanted to tap in. Didn't have time to pre-record it, so I did it live just so you can see how I do it behind the scene. I'll be doing more lives where I'll be taking the phone calls. The number flashes on the screen. That's it right there. And I'm going to be responding to the comments, but right now I just felt like doing this to get it out the way, to get y'all some content, because I felt that this joint here was hilarious. This dude tried to politely tell Bricc that, yo, you're a scumbag, you dead broke, you borrowed money when you shouldn't have borrowed money. Nobody else ever worked for me, ever stooped to the lowest borrowing money from me. Now you done ran 3 years, 5 years went by that you ain't paid me my little $5,000. Then I would felt sorry for your broke ass again, gave you another $2 or $3 grand. That's like $8,000, and now you get locked up. And now you expect me to take care of you while you're in prison, even though I'm still using your content to make money. And every time you call in, it's more money. But that's my money because you're on the inside and it's my show, and that's how business works. Bottom line. Did I sum that up well enough? Well, make sure you subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel, Juanita Mecca Audio. She speak about what it was like having her father locked up for 26 years from she was 7 years old. So instead of just hearing my war stories, listen to her war stories. All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, make an audio.
Make a what? Make a audio. Make a what? Make a audio. Make a what? Make a audio. Make a what? Make a audio. And we gon' do it like. We gon' do it like. We keep it moving like. We gotta do it like.
Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top demons so shiny. I let shorty go, she was wine. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the dapper Dan. You eat back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours, so we can give back to the.
Cheers, cheers, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.